All right, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, we are actually obviously live right now, and as you guys can see, I'm laying in bed because I'm red lighting my back. That is right, red lighting. Um, because obviously having a bulging disc and all that fun stuff. Uh, Got to do everything I can to stay on top of recovery, so I can keep competing and having fun. But we're gonna go ahead and start with a Skool platform. This is similar to Patreon, but it is like way more user friendly. It actually kind of takes the idea of supporting a creator, me putting content out there, so you guys just interact with me. It actually makes it so you guys can interact with the community that we build with the lapel guard syndicate. So the primary focus obviously is Jiu Jitsu, lapel guard, but we focus on like all aspects of Jiu Jitsu. We'll probably develop more into doing some of the Nogi stuff, but I wanted to highlight our community sparring area because we'll have athletes give each other feedback and observations, support each other, cheer each other on, and all that fun stuff. But I also will go through, watch these, review them, give my feedback. So for the feedback for this round right here with Sean, which is kind of like one of the original members who actually joined the Lapel Guard Syndicate. He's part of our group. We're going to view his film, give him live feedback, and then he's actually going to get it within the group. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. I've got a couple other things that lined up. We're going to review some of my friend Clay Mayfield and Blake's sparring film, and then we're going to run over here to Eric Muniz versus Eli Braz, and this is a really good match, especially for a like spider lapel type study, because he plays spider lapel in just about every one that he plays, but he absolutely abuses the spider lapel, and I dropped that. Great. You're not that late, my guy. You're actually on time. You're doing great. So let me go and make sure my setup is to where I can actually see stuff here, and then I'll be ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get this sparring one ready to go because Mr. Sean loves to set up his camera, walk around, fix his belt, maybe pick his nose a little bit, who knows, versus editing his sparring film to where it jumps right to it. Not a big deal, my guy. I'm just giving you a hard time and having a little bit of fun. So, all right, I got myself ready. I don't know about y'all. I got my Coke Zero, cutting weight this week. Had a flare up with my back last night. Man, I don't even want to get into that. Basically, kiddo didn't let me sleep. Bad deal. We're starting on our butt. Okay. All right. So it looks like we're starting from a double pull type scenario. And let's get rolling. Double pull, laying on our side. Goes straight for a footlock style entry right off the bat here. For context, you that don't know, Sean, he's the brown belt here. King of lasso lapel, absolutely loves that style lapel guard. His left knee believes we have an MCL tear. So this is sparring, but under the context of we're obviously dealing with an injury, and this wonderful guy goes straight for the leg. So it'll be interesting to see how he defends and kind of what exactly happened here. Guys, this is very small. Watch Sean's foot, specifically his big toe. So look, this guy has an angle to catch a foot now, but he has to somehow bring his chest forward to make sure these toes end up behind his back, inevitably behind his actual shoulder here. But dude, don't worry about it, Sean. But if you notice, before he can even lean forward, right? Oh my goodness, dude. Right here, he starts taking the toes and bringing it in front of the chest. Man, it was a really good defense, even though he was looking to come up. Truthfully, if that's off a double pull, I mean, you're coming up for an advantage for all that. You might as well just go on the ankle, steal the advantage for the ankle lock, and then come up. Then you're up 2 advantages. But it's actually really good. Sean collecting the knees together. I want to see if he's doing something real quick. Good wrestle up. And this was a good job, Sean. But your right hand when you get up to here, this is actually pretty good. Like, this is a good job. This right hand, I think I remember. Did you wrestle, dude? I don't 100% remember if you wrestled, but your right hand can go for this far ankle right here, collapsing it towards you. So then now, because right now if you drive into him, he has this post, and he can at any time pinch this right knee in, to where then his foot becomes like a little post as well. But if you, if I'm assuming you're getting this collar grip, you keep this guy. This hand then reaches through, seeing if you can control the foot or you can control the Achilles. Foot will be easier to pull because it's towards the end of the lever. Foot, you can still pull it to you, if not keep it to you. And then they have no base this way, because then you could punch, rotate around, and you might, because it's supposed between your legs, be able to enter right into a guard pass. It's pretty smooth little setup here. You do a good job though of like pinching the knee, but if you control the ankle, it's going to be really effective too. Truthfully, giving our guy here a little bit of grace, I would not be falling to the hip and accepting that. He's got to build the height back up because he still has this post. Good job keeping the knees together. One thing I like to do from here too, especially if I can climb up on the legs, if you go too far above the knees, the heels can curl to their butt. Not that they necessarily always want to, but if I can, I'll actually try to shelf the shins. So whichever one you prefer, because the knees are facing towards the camera, I would take the left leg, and think like leg riding in wrestling. And you can hook the leg, trap them together, and then with your body, or excuse me, with your arm, you can start climbing up and then working chest to chest. It's actually real slick and sneaky way of doing that. I can kind of understand what ends up happening when you go off camera there. That actually looked good. Look at you moving the camera for us, dude. Making the angles better, dude. Shin. I like this idea of pinning. I actually do this often, using my far or near leg to pin this arm down. I know we like to go for this lapel. This is not bad. This is good. If this elbow gets up high here, I'm not a huge fan of always driving the head to the mat, because if you drive the head to the mat, they can get this elbow. Kind of like, you see where your skull obviously is here, and when the neck starts, and where the neck kind of starts and the skull kind of ends, because it's kind of towards the end of the lever in your head, they can take their arm, pull it down, does not feel good on your neck. But if you can keep your head, like you shoot it right past here, just below the elbow, his elbow, when it's far away from the ribs, he's super weak, right? If it's over here, kind of gets stronger, but it's still weak, like this guy here. But you can trap that pretty well there, and you may be able to set up an arm triangle in this position, go a little bit knee on belly, maybe steel mount, and then progress over, look for the submission. That's just something that I look for. Just because it's there, it doesn't mean you have to go for it, because there's so many things available in every position that it's not necessarily wrong if you don't go for it. So we got the lapel fed under the armpit, around the head to the arm. I like it. A little bit of knee on belly action. I'm not a huge fan of like hopping, especially with a big guy if he's got his frames built up. And as soon as you go right there, that it doesn't look big, but he could take a little movement and make it huge. This does not require someone to be super high level or anything like that, but I prefer chest to chest, over under, double under, to where then I'm taking shin mount. But I like to bring my knee up to where I'm giving as little momentum as possible, as little as movement as possible, to where they can't use that momentum and get any offense from there as well. He's just accepting that knee on belly. Our boy here needs to not be worried about this arm. He should be worried about the knee on belly, which looks like it went off. Another little pro tip too. So, in most tournaments, for sure IBGF, when you get knee on belly, 2 points. If you take the knee off and then try to put it back on, you can't farm points that way. But if the person on bottom gets the knee off, like escapes the knee on belly, when you put it back on, you can get 2 more points. So how do we game this? If you're on knee on belly and he puts both hands on the knee or even one hand on the knee and gives any kind of push, move with it because he escaped. Even though we let him out, he escaped. So then you can go through and farm it again. This is where we think of Jiu Jitsu as a game. Games could always be... So in reality, I like to go shin mount to where my knee goes across to the far ASIS. This foot is hooking the other one. Keep in mind ASIS is the front bony part of the hip. And then I will slowly take mount. Generally with big movements like these, they can use this momentum of you going to your left, then they explode and escape out to the right. What more often will happen than not, especially if they're good, they're probably going to do this and then elbow escape to their hips. Are going to go this way, potentially put you in single X. Now they're in an offensive cycle. So this ends up going well. I would just put some caution to this guy because, man, I handle getting mount with care. If this is the route we want to go, we want to keep trying to, before this, like, I would start hipping out because you want to get your hips behind the hips, chest behind the back. We might have the beginnings of an Ezekiel, but we take mount again. Not wrong or bad, but I like if a mentality I really push with mount is that if we get mount, we keep it, we finish from there, or the round ends from there. The only time we try to take back from mount is if we're down on points, we can't really, we don't have time to submit them. Maybe they're tough, whatever the case may be, and then we end up taking the back. But what happened here? Doesn't look like choke pressure was really on. What am I missing here, Sean? Lapel fed around the neck. Shoulders collapse into the neck. Okay. Tell me if I'm wrong. You have the lapel wrapped around the neck. You're controlling with your right hand. The tension from the wrist into the neck, choking one side. His shoulder has the other. Am I far off? Because mechanically that makes sense. But yeah, you tapped him. I see that, big dog. But what'd you tap him with? Is it with controlling the lapel, wrist into the neck, and because his shoulder on the other side is collapsing to the neck, that's kind of how you choked him? My man. Now, if you have a name for that and it's something you've drilled, I'm still impressed. I'm more impressed if you stumbled upon this because you were fighting conceptually. You were paying attention to what you had, and then thinking about what you wanted, and then you basically solved it like algebra, figuring like, okay, if I want this based off what I have, what do I need to do to get that lapel choke? That's what you call it? My man. I'm not suggesting we go back to like 10th planet days of naming stuff, but I will tell you, brownie points for the creativity of finding it and doing it. Brownie points of being patient with it. But I'm debating on negative brownie points on creativity of just calling it a lapel choke, even though that's what it is. I was hoping for something cooler, because if it's just a lapel choke and you had the lapel, so you went for the choke, great. Then you were fighting conceptually. But if you've drilled that, and that's what you call it, my man. I thought you were more creative than that. I've seen your TikToks. Okay, you're recreating it with him, or you're just resetting in the choke again. I think you're resetting it with him. Because if you're restarting here with this, You're kind of a jerk, dog. Yeah, well, I say work on it, but you can ask my wife. I'm not always the most creative either. Looks like you're actually sparring right now. Our, what are we doing with our hands right here? Kind of body lock, but it's not really needed. If we are body locking here, I like number one, near side underhook is the strongest from flat nine half guard. If we need to go to crossface, that's the one you're gonna run into the most. Near side underhooks though are borderline overpowered. But if we're wrapping around the body here, I think it'd be a wiser decision to climb up chest to chest, play more of a flat not half guard style on top. You get an advantage off that as well in IBGF. But unless we're oil checking here, I don't know how useful that is unless I'm missing something. But I would also uh, tell you not to oil check people. Yeah, I like climbing up chests. Yeah, you're looks like you're kind of just trapping the legs, pinching the knees together. I'm curious your logic behind that. Not like what's your logic is and that was dumb, but more what's your logic so I understand your line of thinking. Okay, so let me see this again. You sure like to hop a lot. Little scrappy Coco. So but instead of like hopping and trying to catch the legs, because now he can bring his knees to his chest, I like the idea of trying to find a way to leg ride here. So I would probably end up using my left leg. I'd have to feel and be in the position, but I would try to like bring my knee behind my armpit. Yeah, drive your weight into your left shoulder. This knee comes up, the left leg, and try to like collect both like shins together or ankles together, and think like leg riding concepts like in wrestling. Truthfully though, like this is a good position, and I think what you did ends up going well, but you need to find a way to bring these knees closer while maintaining pressure with your upper body because this hop, yeah, this hop is going to give them a potential of getting into a real offensive position. And what we want to do with jiu-jitsu, if our goal is to display the highest level of jiu-jitsu possible, we want to give our opponent as few opportunities as possible of getting to any offensive cycles, if that makes sense. Um, yeah. So originally, like I don't know if I told you this, but when I started jiu-jitsu, I started in 2009 at a 10th Planet Nogi gym. Like we were only Nogi until probably 3 years into it, and then the gym I was with became a Kyotera affiliate, and then it was just basically all gi from there. But the lockdown was like super common. You can easily deal with the lockdown a lot easier than what you were choosing to do from flat nine half guard. If you could message me to remind me, I'll even send you a video about how to do that. It's like super effective. Um, if he's got legs locked down, can he sit back on heels to help break it? The only problem with like sitting back is that you're taking away your chest to chest connection. Because in reality, with the lockdown, you want to maintain flat not half guard. And as long as if you have the underhook on the near side or the far side they still kind of can. But as long as if they can't put their hands to your hips, they can't do what's called the whip up and wrestle up. Because in reality, all the lockdown is kind of like a position to stall or go for the whip up to try to wrestle up, right? So if I have near side underhook, it's definitely not there. Far side underhook, which would be the opposite side because his right leg's between his legs, so if he's right arm underhooking, far side, left arm, near side. Um, he can get his hands to the hips, but it's easy just to flare your elbow to deal and defend it. But yeah, lockdown's not much of a concern. Giving you the verbal explanation, if you're in flat and half guard, you just take the outside leg, which would be your left leg, and you hook under both of their ankles, right? So he has a lockdown. You hook under both of their ankles and obviously yours as well, and you just curl your heel to your butt, lifting up, and then you just windshield wiper. your leg that's between theirs, which would be Sean's right leg, out, and then kind of tuck it under your butt. Then you're out of it. Like the lockdown is really like, you know, the Chinese finger traps where you put your fingers in there and you pull it apart and you're like, oh my God, I'm stuck. I can't get out. I can't get out. But then once you realize you just put your fingers together and you get out easy, it's kind of like that. The only kind of lockdowns that are really tough is I've actually got this one purple belt at my gym. He'll engage the lockdown and then quickly disengage it, like bring his heels to his butt, and then quickly re-engage it. So the counter, I'm telling you guys, it works extremely well. But if he disengages aggressively, it's very difficult to escape the leg. So your leg will be free, but once you start trying to work to pass, lockdown gets back in engaged. For sparring, frustrating, takes forever. Tournament, not a great strategy for him because he's going to get hit for penalties, right? So I hope that makes sense. That was actually a good question, sitting back. It's not the most optimal. I'm always focused on like, what is the best choice I can make in this position to make my partner mentally, physically as uncomfortable as possible, and what will give them the least probable chance of success to get any kind of offense against me. Sounds good, Sean, man. It was good seeing you. I know we'll be chatting more here soon. Okay, you had the right idea with your left hand here. So I would bring your head more to like the top part of the ribs, driving with your forehead, and kind of grab like the word tight waist comes to my head. That may not be the right idea or name. Tight waist, elbow joint behind. Because what you're going to try to do is pinch your elbow to keep his hips and knees facing this way. And then you could drop your left hip down on your toes and then basically walk around these feet. Maybe you need a windshield wiper with your right foot. And then you're basically in a leg drag. Then the whole trick here is that once you get past both these legs, being ready for them to try to aggressively turtle. Most people view when you pass, you almost like let them turtle kind of because you got past the guard. It's a sign of relief. It's awesome. But the goal when we pass guard is we want to pin their back to the mat. So as we pass, we want to account for them to be able to turtle and to be able to escape. Because though we get an advantage in IBJJF, great. We made progress. But if someone asks me, do I want one piece of cake or the whole cake? Assuming we don't get sick, I'm eating the whole cake, if that makes sense. Like I want all of the points. I don't want some of the points. Yeah, you can just do this with your legs. Yeah, what we just kind of talked about would fix that. So versus grabbing with your ankle, because like him rotating away, there's nothing stopping his back. So if you're around the tight waist here and your forehead's up on the ribs, dude, if he moves like he just did, he's going to pass his own guard. You can literally pinch his knee in, drop this hip down as his arms around the waist, forehead to the top of the rib, and easily circle around. And a lot of times if you camp there for a second, like wait, they're going to do it for you. This movement he does right here, he's going to end up passing his own guard. I like how when you do this, it looks like your right hand controls the bottom leg. It's just like right here. But I would encourage like, oh, he's going for a baseball bat choke. That cheeky little turd. Fun fact, not saying it's impossible. Guys, I've done jiu-jitsu since 2009. I have never been baseball bat choked. I remember seeing one guy get put to sleep with it. And I was like, if anybody ever makes a grip on my collar like this and then tries to get the other one or at all, I'm immediately defending. Like, I've never been baseball bat choked. I plan to never get baseball bat choked. Now I understand why you drove in like this. You got to be careful. You got to keep his back to the mat. If he's, dude, let me see this again because I've seen this happen so many times. They get the baseball bat choke. They try to knee on belly, try to go to mount, and then they rotate belly down. If this guy would have kept it, if this grip was a little deeper, and just gone belly down, keeping it here. I mean, he's flat on his stomach. He could put Sean to sleep here. But you had, so real quick right here. You see how your hand was grabbing this outside the tricep? Pull that elbow to you. If you pull this elbow to you, even if they kind of somewhat have the choke, Like, in order for him to go belly down, this elbow has to be able to get to the mat. So if you're controlling, oh well, 10 seconds is freaking forever. So if you're controlling this elbow and he tries to rotate belly down, but this elbow cannot get to the mat, he can't go belly down. He has to be able to rotate his chest all the way down to the mat to be able to finish the baseball bat choke. Does that make sense, guys? I don't hate the baseball bat choke. I just want to maintain my record of never getting caught with it. I don't want to get submitted by anything, but I feel like dealing with the baseball bat choke is way easier to deal with early, which you can say that by every submission. All right, Sean, my dude, this is actually a really good round. Would have been nice to see the how your guard pull is continuing to progress. And a lot of times I'll review these guys. Well, 99% of the time I review these by myself, and I either type feedback or I end up doing a live stream like this, and then we give the feedback in there like that. So again, guys, this is basically the Skool account. What I go through has my lapel guard instructional in here. It also has a lot of people's sparring content that everybody helps with. But what I want to do now, and if you guys are interested in looking at that, you guys need any help at all, you guys want to support the channel and all that fun stuff, check out the links down below. The Skool will actually get you, the Skool link will actually get you into there and get you more direct help from me and our team. So again, for those of you who don't know, this guy right here, one of my good friends, Clay Mayfield, absolute hammer. This guy's awesome. Same with my buddy Blake, purple belt world champion. He's a brown belt now. They do not fight like I fight jiu-jitsu. Like we obviously all do jiu-jitsu, but both of these guys, they'll guard pull, but they're also going to want to take you down, and they have an aggressive forward pace pressure of I'm going to kill you and smash you. I love it. I especially love cross training with these guys. I have more of a focus of I want to display the highest level possible. If I can use less energy to do it, I'm going to use less energy. One's not better than the other. Obviously, preferences. I'd rather not be doing hill sprints during jiu-jitsu. Hello from France. Well, how's it going? I'm not even going to pretend like I can speak French, but I'm guessing by you being in here, you speak a little bit of English. All right. So again, my buddy Clay, he's the black belt. Buddy Blake, he's the brown. My buddy Clay's a medium heavyweight. And I don't remember if Blake cuts. I think he cuts the heavy. Maybe he's a super heavy, or he's just a heavy. I like this kind of threat, like almost like a jab, like the foot sweep, but didn't get any reaction there. It's interesting because like generally with feints, you'll throw something out there to see if they react. And a lot of this early is you're gathering data to see what the reactions are. Then you can set up some offense from there on your next set of attacks and chain different attacks from there. But we also have to give appropriate context here. These two have sparred each other an infinite number of times. Literally every freaking day as well. So, and then I like the collar drag to the guard pull here. I would have put a little bit more of an emphasis on keeping this arm like this, it's almost like sleeve drag style over here before I put a lot of focus and emphasis into collecting this far leg. Because right now your right foot is between the legs, knees to the chest. It's not a bad position. This is actually pretty good. But I would prioritize taking this hand, finding this sleeve to help keep this elbow on this side of your belly button. Because then you're going to keep this arm trapped. More often than not, with especially in context with where your right leg is, keeping the sleeve, keeping the armpit, if you can make it a lapel grip, it's better, but armpit's great. You can actually take your partner's back here. I say take your partner. I mean, it's Clay's back. You can literally take his back here. Yeah, but I won't even try any pendulum flower type sweeps if the foot's between the legs. because then I have nothing to go into my partner's lat to actually get the off balance to hopefully mount. It's a good job cutting the angle to get the foot out. Did you touch the lapel? You did. What were you doing here, my friend? Let me catch up on the chat right here, Chris. The loop choke video? Dude. Oh, dude, I appreciate it. Yeah, loop choke is honestly one of the, how would I say it? It's like everybody knows what that submission is. Everybody loves the loop choke, but I swear nobody can get it. And I don't want to rehash that video to bore everybody, but everybody wants, they think it's catch and finish a loop choke. But in reality, it's you're catching and keeping the loop choke. And then the finish is super self-explanatory from there. But what's funny is I need to make an update to that video. For those of you who don't know, Nicholas Marigali is my coach, and he helps me a frick ton, reviews film with me and all that stuff. But when you have the loop choke, one finishing detail is that when you're choking, rotating your thumb, not like this, but just rotating as if your thumb was facing up into the throat, and it kind of like just collapses and removes whatever remaining space there is. Oh, you're blue belt, dude. Nice. How long you been training jiu-jitsu? Let's go and take a step back here. I need to catch what we were doing with this lapel. Okay, so it was just opportunistic. This lapel was already out, and he fed it through. I like, okay. So you see how your knee's down to the ground? This is, I think Clay's gonna, no, he did not shin slice over it. That is not what I thought was gonna happen. I really thought because the angle here, he was gonna shin slice or like knee cut over this way to create an angle. But instead, we square up and he pulls the leg out. There is a guard. I did not come up with a name with this, but Kyotera taught me this. For those who don't know, I was with a Kyotera affiliate for like almost 8 years, and I would work with Kyle intermittently, and because I love lapel guard, he always brought some crazy stuff too. But it's called Future Guard, and I need to make a video on this. But basically, you know, the lapel's wrapped around the hamstring here. Keep the De La Riva hook engaged. With your left hand, you fold it over your De La Riva ankle, and you feed it to your right hand. Puts crazy connection to your partner's leg. They're not pulling it out. Then you want to take your left arm between your hip and shin, feed your left arm through, and feed the lapel there. It's called Future Guard. Again, did not make up this name. But it is, when I say it, dude, it can't be passed. Like, unless you just fall asleep with the wheel, it is the most cancerous guard, period. But, yeah, so Polish Worm Rider, yeah, let me be clear, like, I hate carrot cake. I don't like it. But there are people that love carrot cake. Nothing wrong with carrot cake for the world. For my world, it's a bad deal. But Polish Worm Rider, very effective. I just am not a fan of that guard too much because of how people will stall through it. And some of the offense that's from there is, it just doesn't work as clean at a higher level. Squid guard, though, super effective, super amazing. But again, I need to make a video on this. But you know when you feed the lapel through on the side where you feed the lapel, and let's say I'm playing it to my right, how your right hand holds it like this, right? It's like a thumb up grip. Now, the only limitation with squid guard is that I'm stuck playing square with him. But if I grab it the other way, so you grab the lapel like this, but if I grab it thumb out, right, it's really weak because I could break it towards the fingertips. But if you rotate your knuckles in, you have the same mechanics and ability to play squid, but you can quickly then cut to the outside and go for lapel de plata, if that makes any sense. Sorry, I get too excited talking about lapel guard. I mean, jiu-jitsu in itself, but lapel guard especially. Ooh, what? How did this happen here? Hips going a little too much to the head. That's where the momentum was created. Where is I lost track of where Clay or Blake's left hand is. What is it doing? It's controlling the lapel. Goes through. I can't tell if he uses the lapel to punch it through the groin, because that will actually. I would have kept. So if I were Clay in this scenario, I would have actually kept this position a little bit longer versus putting my hand to the mat. I'm not a fan of the overback from, unless I'm really secure in the position, having my arm under the armpit here. I like to be over the arm. And this grip, it's what he had. This isn't bad. But if he grabs versus like this, and he grabs, you see where his four fingers are? If he puts his thumb here, is then he just reverses the grip, controls towards the end of the toes. Man, if his weight is just better centered in front of Blake, like on the bottom shoulder, he shouldn't be able to rotate him over like that. Like I wonder if Clay thought he could just rotate through and look to take the back, which is what they're both jockeying for right now. I will tell you, I am not a bolo guy. I understand the concepts. And the only reason why I'm familiar with a lot of the defense with bolos is because, if you guys don't know, I got this purple belt light feather. I think he's ranked 6th in IBGF for a light feather. But he's a bolo freaking machine. This knee, I would really, if I was Clay, put a larger emphasis of keeping this grip, but then taking this hand, pushing this knee between his legs, and trying to use his own leg kicking and prodding and trying to find a way out and getting onto his right hip. So facing Blake's hips here. It's an interesting decision on Blake's part, but he ended up a pretty good spot. And here comes the scramble. See, like when I do jiu-jitsu, I want to eliminate as much of what just happened as possible. A lot of movement and the dust has not settled. I want to work up as little dust as possible, if that makes sense. But Blake ends up actually doing a good job here. See what I'm missing here. Wait, hold on. I'm having trouble reading, dude. Although I'm in the U.S. In France, we don't have competitors or black belts that know for it. Yeah. Well, hey, you could be the first, dude. You know what's crazy? I actually, when I was a blue belt, I got his actual instructional, and I actually have the DVD. In fact, it's like right over here. I'm gonna take 2 seconds. This is probably not the most efficient thing for the stream or whatever, but I'm gonna take 2.5 seconds to show you this because this is the first bit of film. Did I already pack it? I'm getting ready to move and all that fun stuff. I did. Are you freaking kidding me? I just wasted my time doing that. But I still have, it's like, I forgot how many DVDs are in there. But I studied that every morning before I would go to work. Wake up at 5 a.m., study for an hour, and then go to work, and then try it that night. But this is before, obviously, I opened the gym. This is like back in 2009. So, no, it's not hype in France, but I feel like every country, area, kind of has its own little meta. Like a gym has a meta at the gym, what you're going to run into the most. But, dude, you could be the first. I've only fought one guy from France. I forgot what his name was. I know he was ranked 3rd at lightweight, because I only do Masters division once a year for Master Worlds, and then the rest I just do adult. But he wasn't bad. I beat him 9-0. I was kind of upset though, because at Masters they're not 10-minute rounds, and I got mounts like with 5 seconds left. I didn't have enough time to finish him, but he was a nice dude. Okay, so we've got the back. We don't have the hook. If we have our grips, escape this knee, bring this knee up by the shoulder, the bottom shoulder, chest to the back, and then you could just chair sit, refinish the back. But Blake might be doing that, or he might just be trying to kill him. So this could be some, because he's flowing a bit and it's training. But if I feel this here, I am trying to like settle my butt back, using this arm as a post, pushing, but trying to get my hips behind his hips. Like I want to keep the back. Assist guy. Am I saying is that a mistype or do I just not know how to read? A Sayat guy? A Sayat? I might be dumb. I've been hitting the head a lot, guys. I did Muay Thai for 8 years. I've literally grappled since I was 4. So in wrestling, there's a lot of intentional, unintentional headbutting. Um, so one thing I do like about this potential idea is that if I have the bag, Clay has no guard. If I'm going to lose it, I'm just going to sit to my butt and play guard. Because what happens here is that Clay gets no points, no advantages, because it's a reversal. There are some things that Blake's does for his weight class that I do not expect him to do. This grip here, dude. It's we call an early prostate exam here. So again, Clay incredibly tough, talented with the knee cut. I mean, they're a pedagogue gym, so of course, if I have an opportunity to beat the knee and get flat and a half guard, I am taking that 10 out of 10 times. I'd even say 100 out of 10 times, because think of it this way: you've got the knees beat, you have them in a very compromised pinning position, and with IBJJF rules, you get an advantage. So there's no losing there. How much of that was Clay's fault? What on earth, Blake? I'm not saying it's a bad thing too, guys. I'm trying to, so what I'm doing, guys, when I go back through and I watch film, this could be like to help others, but also even for myself. I'll watch it like over and over again. So what I'm doing is I'm thinking in the context, like if I were Blake, what am I looking at? And then if I'm Clay, what am I looking at? And then for both, what do I want to do to make it better? Or what would I want to do to slow it down or make it not work? Blake intended to do this. Look how he brings his head to the inside. This is actually clever. Really good entry to single X. That was not advised. Yeah, I would. If Clay settles his butt back here, like really puts all of his energy into settling his butt back, as long as if his butt stays above the knee, he should be able to ride this out, as long as if he keeps Blake supine. Like, it really doesn't matter how much he lifts. There's only so much and so long he can lift before his arms start to get really burnt out here, and he settles being supine. Supine, guys, is like hips and shoulders being flat to the ground, and Clay has flat and a half guard. But instead, he finds this nice angle to a almost knee bar setup. Dude, I love these guys. Like, dude. Oh my God, dude. This is the level of intensity both these guys have. And I could not be a bigger fan. I will tell you, if this niche position, this is not like a position to play, but from a conceptual standpoint, it would be real beneficial to find a way to keep Clay's chest glued to his knee. So when we're in this position here, this hand controls as much of the lapel as he can. Deeper would be better here, because then now he's got a grip on the collar, kind of like this whole thing considered a lapel. As you get up to the neck, it's collar. So the deeper it gets, the better. Keeping this connection here would be insane, because if he makes this grip, then the only thing he has to do is reconfigure his legs to make sure that he can make this leg's foot not be pointed this way, but this way. And while he keeps his grip, he can literally just tilt him over back this way. Like, it doesn't even really matter if Clay's posting, because he can take the legs out, rotate up and over, and then he has them in the most like uncomfortable split passing type scenario here. Yeah, so what you just did, do that, but with a deeper grip. Don't push away. Keep them close. Yeah. So imagine this chest being tied to his knee. His post, he's with his right arm, can't be as far back, and his shoulder won't be above his wrist. So if he's super tight up here, he's falling to his back. And then the only thing you gotta do is keep this right leg kind of hooking to leg ride, undo your left leg, build height up to your knee. Man, you're not just within points, but you're in a super prime position. Working with what you got, belt grip, pant grip would help prevent hip rotation. I would try to climb. If you get this like second chance, bar hip. I like the far hip better if this left leg can come in for like a crab hook. What did we... Man, I would encourage you. I'm not really sure what you got with your right arm. Keep this belt grip and literally just, I mean, manhandle yourself up here. Like take the hips behind his hips. You might have an opportunity still looking at the back, but I can't tell how you may have been tied up. This was a good immediate offense from Clay. So what Clay did was good. I like to, while I'm here, if I feel I'm about to escape, control his pant grip while he's trying to build height. Make my hips kind of like try to open the chest up towards the ceiling a little bit to make weight heavy here. Just literally row this leg off the ground. If you can keep this knee off the ground, he cannot build height. If I'm going up against a bigger opponent, they'll be stronger, but they burn out faster. And I like the idea of just tiring my opponent out a little bit more. Even just for like a couple more seconds, he may fall back down or he ends up still doing this, but you've taxed your opponent more. So this can make the grip more difficult. It can. What it can also do is if you don't have any control of his arm, Clay can keep a hold of the collar, barely loosen up his hand, and that collar is just going to go deeper. So he's going to get a better grip potentially off this. So there's a part of this that works, but if Clay understands this, he's going to get a deeper grip. So he shouldn't be even trying to pull against it. You see how he can't pull against it here? He's not going to be able to row it back. You've got your leg working. So if he makes it deeper here, the only thing he needs to do is keep tension for this side of the lapel. And if he takes his wrist, like this guy here, it just collapses that sucker into your neck and even uses this knee to collapse on that wrist. The choke's there. See, because the mistake, he's trying to pull it back. He's trying to... It's not even that's a mistake. It's just that there's a better, more efficient way. Still a great submission. Still a great job. This, dude, this is why I love these two. Close to the end of the round, they just finish. Immediately both back up. They're practicing to compete. They're both jockeying for every little win that they can have. Whether it's the mental win, I got up first, I'm getting ready first, I look ready, I don't look tired. And I guarantee both these guys are, their heart rate's up, dude. They're feeling it. Good little knee to the head. great round. I love watching these two compete and spar as well. So, anyways, guys, I really appreciate you visiting, being in the stream, guys. If you guys have any questions or need any help, feel free to reach out. Check out the links down below. If you guys need any extra help, you guys are interested in learning lapel guard, any help like that, it's a great way to support the channel. Check out the links down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. We're looking to do once, twice a week of these live streams while we get some more videos out. So have fun training, guys. Take it easy, and let me know how I can help you.